I saw a story on, I think it was LinkedIn last night that I found pretty amusing, and I've tracked it down today. Don't tell me Polestar had record sales in March, because they didn't, did they? They're not sales. Why would you pre-register 2025 25s when you've still got 2025 74s? When you've still got 2024 74s? When you've still got 2024 24s? When you've still got 2023 73s? And when you've still got 2023 23 plates? Why would you register more? Let me just show you why I find it amusing.
Matt Galvin, Managing Director of Polestar UK. Now that the Polestar global results have been announced and my gagging order lifted, I'm proud to announce that Polestar UK celebrates a record-breaking Q1 with another month outperforming the general EV market by 161% in March. Polestar UK goes into Q2 up 185% year to date, having gathered significant momentum this past quarter, handing over 3,695 Polestars to customers across the country, which is a fantastic start to the year. In addition to this, Q1 was record-breaking for order take-up and pre-owned sales, showing that used Polestars are growing in attractiveness to the car-buying public. And, according to SMMT registration data, we are the fastest growing European car brand in the UK. Clappy hands. The success is driven by our award-winning lineup of performance EVs, together with our dedicated retailer partners and team at HQ, who work very hard together to produce these excellent results. We are working tirelessly to serve our increasing customer base while the business goes through a considerable period of growth. To all our customers, past, present and future, it is not lost on us that we are a relatively new brand in the market that is growing at an extraordinary rate. So we thank everyone who has bought a Polestar for your business, your patience and faith. Michael Loscheller, Polestar CEO. Polestar retail sales grew 76% in the first quarter compared to last year. Well done to the team for making this success a reality. We are on the right track and doing the right things. I'm pleased with the progress we are making in transforming our commercial operations. With a more active selling model, more retail partners and attractive cars, we are delivering results. At the same time, we are monitoring closely and assessing the volatile geopolitical environment and will adapt as needed. 76% growth Q1 2025 versus Q1 2024.
Polestar UK sales soar 203% in March to 2,434 EVs. Polestar set a new sales record in the UK in March with 2,434 vehicles sold. Industry data shows. Compared to March 2024, sales jumped 203.11 or 0.11%, bringing first quarter totals to 3,695 units, up 184.7% year over year. Monthly registrations Polestar in the UK. So that's, they have 2004 and 2005 there. So you can't really see, it's just a bar graph and it's in 500 increments. So it doesn't tell you a whole lot there, but the company backed by China's Geely Holding Group launched in the UK in late 2020 and has 3 models available in the market: the 2, the 3 and the 4. Prices for the Polestar 2 sedan start at £43,160, while the SUV Polestar 3 begins at £69,910. Polestar 4 is priced from £58,000. Until the end of June, Polestar customers in the UK can get a Polestar 2 for £399 per month with an £8,700 customer deposit and 0% APR, according to the company's website. Now let's just examine that. Sales soar 203% in March. Going back a couple of years, I had a discussion with a chap who again accused me of lying. As they always do, they can't actually provide proof that you're lying, but they just call you a liar and kind of hope it sticks. without any proof. Way back in 2022, I started seeing a couple of trends which I didn't like in the motor trade. I keep my eye on used car sales, what's available as stock, and particularly I was watching the EV market because I didn't know whether to jump in or not. I'm glad I didn't, having said that. But a 2022 72 plate Polestar with 80 miles on was for sale on Auto Trader as new condition with just 80 miles on. People were still thinking that there was actually a waiting list and that you could get overbook, because that's the illusion the manufacturers created, and that's what I'm so against. So that was back in December 2022. Now, December 27th, 2023. Looking forward to the excuses as to why EVs have tanked again in the book. Mercedes EQC down 6.5%, Taycan's down 5%, Polestar down 5.5%. A couple of days later, I was arguing with a chap. I'd put in July that a load of Polestars had been pre-registered in July, and it was stupid. They weren't sold, the figures were a myth, and he said they weren't and accused me of lying. But this is going to make you chuckle. I sent the message to him. A Polestar has depreciated by £15,250 in the last 12 months. A Ford Mustang 5 litre, only £4,500. With the £10,750 you save by running a nice muscle car instead of an EV, you could buy 1,535 gallons of fuel and drive 38,392 miles in the pony car, or spend £98 on the fuel, do the 350 mile trip and still be £10,652 better off. PS, that's using cap prices when in fact EVs are going for way behind cap and the auction is full of them. That account no longer exists. He's deleted all his posts, and unfortunately then I hadn't got the foresight to take a picture of his tweet. EVs are flying off the shelves. A new EV registered every 60 seconds in July 2023. Today in the auction, there's another Polestar registered 31st of 7, 2023. And it's got two owners. Nothing unusual there, Baz, except it's only done 143 miles. So when they were reporting all the big sales back in 2023, they weren't sales, and they're still coming out the woodwork today. So this increase in sales, this big jump in Polestar sales in March, when do you think they're all going to actually surface from wherever they are now? Because they're not sold. That was the story. Summer surge as one new EV registered every 60 seconds. And there you go, that was the Polestar in the auction. Number of owners 2, 31st of 7, 2023, done 143 mile. This chap replied, petrol diesel sales are down considerably. Well, they weren't. Obviously, they can't sell petrol and diesels as they want to. Petrol and diesel sales these days are governed by how many EVs you sell. So basically, if you've got to do 28% EVs target, otherwise get fined £15,000, you sell your EVs first, and then you know how many petrol and diesels you can sell. Stupid way of doing it, isn't it? Replying to somebody here, I looked at a Polestar the other day. This is May 23rd, 2023, before they registered a load in July. I looked at a Polestar the other day. It was in a magazine road test. I think it had dropped by £20,000 in 6 months. I'm afraid that Taycans are even worse. There was a load of Volkswagens, pre-registered. What were they? 10 miles. Dear me. I think they were 2022s from memory. Delivery mileage ups. These are my personal opinions. I'm not getting paid by anyone, and I could just as easily sell EVs for a living. So I'm completely unbiased and just sharing my thoughts and observations to try and counteract the falsehoods and lies that I see being published every day by the evangelists and others in the motor trade who quite frankly should know fucking better. Now, again, you people out there who are accusing me of just jumping on the bandwagon, I've been doing this since 2022, but I've only gone onto YouTube recently because I didn't want to upset the people who were actually pushing the narrative that I needed to work with at the time and advertise my cars with and value my cars. I don't need to do that anymore, so I can say what I want within reason, and so long as it's true, or I suppose I can prove it. Here we go, look at this. We may have found the winner of the Shuichi Yoko High DEV Award. Here is a 2-year-old Polestar with 172 miles on the clock, a massive waste of clean air and cobalt. Should never have been manufactured because if it hadn't found a customer in 2 years, it wasn't needed in the first place. That's it. 2021 71. That was 2 years old, 172 mile. Even more, December the 8th. What's the typical mileage versus age of a daily rental car in the UK? This Polestar having 12,000 miles on at 7 months old kind of contradicts the whole, oh my God, EVs can't go anywhere thing. That was one of the evangelists. But for every one of those, there was another one there in the auction look. 2023 hatchback, 80 miles. I'm pretty sure that was Gaz again. Gary Martin. Imagine claiming to know anything about the car industry while posting shit like this. Yes, Hertz are definitely only actually using one Polestar 2 on their fleet, and I just happened to rent it. The other 20 they had at one location alone were just parked up for show. Well, Gaz, they were just parked up for show, otherwise you wouldn't have seen them parked up for show, would you? They've definitely paid full list price for all of them too, because rental companies always do. They've never had a discount from a manufacturer ever. Now, this is what I'd put. I had to laugh last week. Someone made a video in reply to the Land's End to John O'Groats one Jeff Bazcars and the McMaster made. I saw a tweet saying the EV he had rented had done 12,000 miles in 7 months. Could this be because they were loading the miles up on one car because they were trying to bail out of all the rest of them at BCA? That's my alternative theory. And also that you could hire a Polestar from Hertz for £17.45 per day. Again, would it surprise you to know that the car he did the trip in has depreciated at £47.27 per day for the last 12 months. So that's a great business model, isn't it? All I was saying was there was a load of pre-registered vehicles, a load of pre-registered Polestars in the auction. Gaz didn't actually tag me in on this. Somebody else sent it to me because Gaz hasn't got the balls to take me on head on because he always loses, because he doesn't know what he's talking about, basically. So he always loses and ends up looking silly. I only deal in facts, not, crap, basically. There you go. Imagine claiming to know anything about the car industry while posting shite like this. Shite that was absolutely on the money. There you go, still chuckling. All these cars. Car 360, they get all their stuff straight from the auction, still are. In fact, I think they've just bought another couple of Polestars that were in the auction. I could be wrong, but you see their vehicle registered 28th of December 2023 when EVs were flying off the shelves every 60 seconds. Another one. Polestar pre-registered in November 2023, 157 miles, and it's been blocked, put in the auction, and sold to an indie. It only went through today. BCA's photos, and I bet it's still in their compound. EVs are great sellers. So there you go, that's a photo. 157 miles, 2023, 73. Okay, Baz, what's your point? You're going on about 2023. We're in 2025 now, and Polestar have just broken the record for selling new Polestars. Why do you keep going on about it? Well, let's have a look at this April 3rd. It was a little bit late, 2024. The fastest selling cars for the month were the electric Audi e-tron. That's the one that, according to the Climate Intelligence Unit, you can save £2,600 a year when they're depreciating by £4,000 in the same time at dealers. So, well, except for this e-tron that's been reduced by 6,500 and been in stock for 484 days. If it has EV printed anywhere in the article, just skip to the weather forecast because that will be more accurate by far. Everything I've said over the last couple of years has come true. But there you go. The fastest selling cars for the month were the electric Audi e-tron and the Polestar 2, averaging 11 days in stock, when those cars that had been in the auction for months. Well, April there, they'd been in the auction. There was cars for sale from July the previous year in the auction. And the powers that be are trying to tell you that they sell in 11 days. It's just all rubbish. Here we go, April 29, 2024. As I said before, denial. Polestar, second biggest depreciating car on the market last month. He's deleted his account. To be honest, I made such a fool of him. He deleted his account because he was trying to defend Polestars, and I just, again, nuclear deterrent, just overrun him with facts, and he realised he couldn't defend it anymore, so he deleted his account. June the 6th, 2024, another one for sale, 258 miles. 2023, where'd it been? August the 1st, 2024. It's looking like it's going to be another bumper July for EV sales, or to use the technical term, statistic fudging pre-registrations. Polestar taking a few massive depreciation hits for Team EV shill by pre-registering EVs in the dying minutes of the month before the new. So this is a year later, August 2024. Polestar, 2024, 100 miles, 1st of August, advertised. They're advertising them on the 1st of August. They only registered them the day before. 31st of 7, 2024, that's when they were registered. You're getting the gist of my story. So this Polestar was pre-registered on the last day of February. February is the worst month that you can possibly register a vehicle. It will drop the most because it's the old registration. Well, it won't drop as much as the ones they register in December, but it will still be bad. It'll still be catastrophic, and it will, as soon as they register vehicles in March, it will knock the February one way down because it's the old registration. So the discussion which was started, read my observations on Polestars. If you go on their website, you will see for yourself that the first 8 pages of pre-owned EVs were all registered on the 31st of 7, 2024, and have all done less than 100 miles. In real life, they've probably done less than 20 miles. And they ain't been pre-owned, they've been pre-registered. There's a difference. But one other thing is for sure, they've not been sold. There you go, 100 miles. There's been loads of them. If only it was just Polestar, which you seem to have a thing about. EVs are being pre-registered en masse, but they aren't selling, which means they have to discount them to get rid. This then affects the residual values and dealers can't keep up. This has also had a knock-on effect with ICE cars. I'm afraid you are too stupid and blinkered for me to explain, and you are too obnoxious for me to want to. You do not have a grasp of what's happening. You just take the word of paid shills and morons like the SMMT. You don't know me. You don't know what I want, so this is it. I don't want people to get lied to and ripped off just so some can make £5 by signing you up for an electricity contract. Now shut the fuck up. EVs have fucked the motor trade up, and they've cost a lot of people a good chunk of their savings because of myth spreaders like you. They're all great until it comes to proving you're wrong, actually proving you're wrong. They can say you're wrong, proving you're wrong is a different thing. So Polestar have a history of pre-registering vehicles. Here we go. Then they dumped a load more. You see there. All onto the used car market. When you dump a load of things, the same model onto the used car market, it has a knock-on effect and adds to depreciation. And they have just continued constantly to dump vehicles. September 18th, 2024. You laugh at this. If we go on to electric cars, Polestar 2, I'll just do Polestar. There's 709 cars. 709 cars will go up to 2025. So that doesn't include the new ones. And then we'll go up, up to 500 miles. There's 32. They lie about the miles. And here we go. You look. Oh, here we go, coming soon. That's an ad. It's coming soon. It's an ad. It's been advertised since the 23rd of the 12th, 2024. It's coming soon. They've had 3 months to photograph it. over 3 months. An Auto Trader haven't got the sense. I mean, all right, give somebody a bit of leeway then. If we're going to do this, give them a bit of leeway. If they haven't got photographs, give them a week to get the photographs and then dump their advert in the waste bin. Just dump it completely. Make sure that they have to put it back on again. They don't just get away. So dump that. That's an ad. Auto Trader think that I'm interested in seeing an advert with no pictures of a vehicle for a Polestar. Hippo approved here. 122 miles. Listed yesterday, 8th of the 4th, 2025. Listed yesterday, a car from 2023, 73 with 122 miles on. 25th and 9th, 2023. So they were registered 6 months ago. The last year's and the old plate. They've just come on the market today. Where do you think they've been? Let's go further down. 2023, 73, 69 miles. Advertised on the 7th. Is that Car 360? Yeah, mentioned them before. Buy a lot of cars from the auction. Another Polestar here. 7th of the 4th, 2025. 7th of the 4th. It was advertised at £35,189. The 8th of the 4th, it was put up by £199. Why do you think they've done that? No images. Those are stock images, no images. New stock arriving soon. Another one, 10 miles. That's a 2025-25 plate. I wonder if that's one of the ones that they've had a record month with. Because you know what? Here's another one. Polestar record month in March. 101 miles. It's not done 101 miles because the one next to it's done 101 miles too. And that's a 2025-25. We've got one next to that, 200. That's 2024-73. Listed 4 days ago. 2023-73. Listed yesterday. Another one. Another Hippo one. I mean, I've got fed up now because it's every single month. All the figures are lies. All the sales figures are lies. And these cars, these 2023s, you see here, look, all these coming soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All them coming soon. 2024 74s. When were they registered? 30th of the 9th, 2024. Don't tell me that Polestar had record sales in March, because they didn't, did they? They're not sales. Why would you register? Why would you pre-register 2025-25s when you've still got 2025 74s? When you've still got 2024 74s? When you've still got 2024 24s? When you've still got 2023 73s? And when you've still got 2023 23 plates? Why would you register more? Clearly they're not selling. That's down 3 grand. That's down 4,000. That's down 5,000. That's down 2,500. That's down 9,500 there. What's that? 2024 74. Down 3,000. Down 2,000. All lies. All lies. The chap who didn't believe me in 2023 probably still won't believe me now, even though month on month, year on year, I've shown what's happening. Smoke and mirrors, just piling depreciation on. And the sad thing is, as I've said before, one of my followers, he's on his second one. He loves them. And they will be fantastic to drive. But people just don't want them. You know, you can't have a used vehicle with 100 miles for sale for 2 years when supposedly they're flying off the shelves. And don't forget, back to the Auto Trader report, they were selling, Polestar 2s were selling in 11 days. If they were selling in 11 days, how come in 2025 March, there's still vehicles coming up for sale from 2023? Where have they been? They're in the auction. Oh, I forgot to show you. The auction the other day. 54 miles, 2023 73. This is in the auction. 57 miles, 2023 73. 68 miles, 2023 73. 69 miles, 2023 73. Next one. Next one. Next one. And there we go. 29th of 9th, 2023. Still coming up for sale virtually daily. That's the state of the EV market. Tell me I'm wrong. Come back, Mr. whatever your name was from 2023. Tell me I'm wrong. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.